Assalamualaikum to our first panel, Encik Ahmad Shah Pakir Muhammad, and second panel, Professor Madya Dr. Susila Anak Perempuan Chandran. Today, we would like to present our research project titled The Relationship Between Knowledge, Attitude and Level of Awareness on Medical Equipment Lead Towards Environmental Pollution Among UiTM Seremban 3 Students. My name is Haizatul Nafisah binti Isham and my partner is Nur Nabila binti Amirul Hasni. Our supervisor is Puan Nur Shamalia binti Ngah.
So, I will further explain regarding the research background. In March 2020, the World Health Organization had declared the coronavirus disease 2019, or also known as COVID-19. This virus has rapidly spread to humans just by personal contact. World Health Organization are recommending several suggestions to be practiced by all government in each country, and ensuring these preventive actions need to be implemented well in order to reduce the number of people getting affected by this virus. Hence, every government in each country already implement the suggestions by World Health Organization by imposing total lockdown to the whole country, practicing social distancing, and obligated people to wearing face masks to secure people's safety everywhere they go. The demand of supply towards medical equipment such as personal protective equipment, face masks and gloves being increased day by day. This issue of demanding in medical equipment worldwide quite worrying, as this can lead to extreme improper management waste in future. The rationale to conduct this research is to study the relationship between the knowledge, attitude, and the level of awareness on medical equipment that can lead towards the environmental pollutions among the students in UiTM Seremban 3.
Next, I will explain about the problem statement. The daily contribution on disposable medical equipment getting high, and it's really worrying as without any appropriate waste management that's specific on medical dispose will lead towards high litter of disposable waste. This drawback of this method cause environmental pollution such as marine pollution, beach pollution, plastic pollution, and street pollution. Not only above pollution, but it also spread more virus immediately if there is no proper management to dispose these medical essentials. The contribution of medical disposal is at critical level, and people should be aware on this problem as it is the major factor why environment getting affected during COVID-19. Hence, with this research question and research objectives are being developed.
For the first research questions is, what is the relationship between knowledge on medical equipment towards environmental pollution among your ITM Seremban 3 student? Second is, what is the relationship between attitude on medical equipment towards environmental pollution among your ITM Seremban 3 student? Meanwhile, for the third research questions is, what is the relationship between the level of awareness on medical equipment lead towards environmental pollution among UiTM Seremban 3 student? And the last research questions is, what is the significance predictor of medical equipment usage towards environmental pollution? Next is research objective. First, the research objective is to examine the relationship between knowledge on medical equipment usage leads toward environmental pollution among UiTM Seremban 3 student. Second is to examine the relationship between attitude on medical equipment usage lead towards environmental pollution among UiTM Seremban 3 student. Meanwhile, for the third research objective is to examine the relationship between the level of awareness on medical equipment usage towards environmental pollution among UiTM Seremban 3 student. And last but not least, the research objective for this research studies is to analyze the significance predictor of medical equipment usage towards the environmental pollution.
This is our conceptual framework. As you can see, we have one dependent variable and three independent variables. Our independent variable is medical equipment usage cause environmental pollution, and the three independent variable is students' knowledge, students' attitude, and student awareness. Basically, we are studying on the relationship between dependent variable and independent variable.
For the first hypothesis is HO1, there is no relationship between medical equipment pollution during COVID-19 pandemic and the level of awareness. For the HA1, there is relationship between the medical equipment pollution during COVID-19 pandemic and the level of awareness. For the second hypothesis is HO2, there is no relationship between the medical equipment pollution during COVID-19 pandemic and the students' knowledge. For the HA2, there is a relationship between the medical equipment pollution during COVID-19 pandemic and the students' knowledge. For the last hypothesis is HO3, there is no relationship between the medical equipment pollution during COVID-19 pandemic and the students' attitude. And last but not least, for the HA3, there is a relationship between the medical equipment pollution during COVID-19 pandemic and the students' attitude.
In research methodology, in terms of research design, we use quantitative research method. Next, the unit of analysis is the student of UiTM Seremban 3, which to analyze their knowledge, attitude and level of awareness on the current situation. Move to sample size that we derive is 357 respondents among UiTM Seremban 3 students. The sampling technique that we use are stratified and convenient sampling. In data measurement, the variable being measured using Likert scale. The Likert scale will be used with the measurement 5 strongly agree, 4 agree, 3 neutral, 2 disagree, 1 strongly disagree. Moreover, in data collection, we use questionnaire with section. Section A, respondent information. Section B is level of knowledge towards medical equipment, cause environmental pollution during pandemic. There also section C, which is the level of attitude in managing medical equipment during pandemic issue. Next is section D, level of awareness towards medical equipment lead environmental pollution. And the last section is section E, medical equipment usage among UiTM Seremban 3 students. Last but not least, the data analysis used in this research study are Pearson correlation and multiple regression. Move on to our research findings. This is our demographic profile. For the gender, the highest respondent is male with 52.1%. As for the age, the highest respondents is from 21 years and above with 89.1%. Last but not least, the educational level of the respondents mostly degree students with 77.3%.
Hypothesis testing is the correlation analysis results are shown in the table here. Correlation analysis used to describe the strength and direction between the variables. From the table, there is a positive relationship between knowledge with the Pearson correlation is 0.400 and the significance value is 0.000. Meanwhile, the attitude with the Pearson correlation value is 0.489, meanwhile the significance value is 0.000. And the level of awareness is 0.51, while the significance value is 0.000 on medical equipment usage towards environmental pollution. Therefore, all three hypotheses were accepted. Based on the table, regression results showed that all the factors were identified as predictors of medical equipment usage towards environmental pollution with an adjusted R-square value of 27.4%. The ANOVA generated in this test also shows a significant probability value with the value is 0.000 and signifies that all the knowledge, attitude and level of awareness factors significantly affect the medical equipment usage. The analysis also shows a high beta value which interpret that the attitude with 0.321 and the significance value is 0.000 that explain a high degree of medical equipment usage towards environmental pollution, and it shows that ensuring the people attitude is important as it was positively impacting the medical equipment usage.
For the implication of our research study is to help the government to overcome the issue of environmental pollution that caused by medical equipment waste. As most of the findings, I agree that the current situation could be worse since pandemic is still going on right now. Next is to help the society to practice the quality of life to save the environment. We have to protect our environment for future generation. Last but not least is to create awareness about the environmental pollution to the society through students.
I will further explain about the limitation of this study and future research suggestions. Firstly is limited sample. Sample size influence the research results. It is very necessary to have an adequate sample size to decide for the best in the future, especially if the studies involve the public people. So these research studies are regarding the environmental issue in Malaysian country. However, the sample of this research are only limited to ITM's Seremban 3 students only. The respondents that were derived from this research study is 357 in total. This is very low number of students in the whole campus of UiTM Seremban 3. For suggestions, the researcher should open the questionnaire to students from any university or institution to get their opinion on this issue. Next is limited strategy for data collection. Since the country is facing a pandemic and the learning environment is new to everyone, so the strategy for data collection is very limited. There is no face-to-face survey can be conducted. In this research study, the data collected by using Google Form medium to spread the questionnaire. This is a very challenging to effectively collect the data and time-consuming. For recommendation, researchers can modify the data collection method. For an example, a call interview to the students as another option to get more respondents. Call interview can help researcher reach directly to the respondent. It is less time-consuming and cost-effectiveness ways to collect the data.
In a conclusion, the environmental pollution is a crucial issue that can influence the future generation. The era of pandemic COVID-19 slowly contributed to these issues. These studies emphasize the voice of the young generation for the sake of next generation, because the earth that we live to now is only borrowed from the next generation.